Hey, welcome to the Game Dungeon. Today we're looking at Sonic Heroes. This is a game I haven't played in a long time, and when I think back to it, my first thoughts are, was that real? Did that actually happen? Have you ever been in a bike or skateboard accident or fallen out of a tree and you're not sure if you did a flip or not? Well, that's the feeling I get when I think about this game. So let's try to recreate the accident and see what happened. Now before we begin, I need to give a disclaimer. I generally like Sonic games. They're fun, colorful. In fact, I'm easy to please. There's only 3 things I'm looking for in a Sonic game. Great music, exotic environments, and going really, really fast. If they have all that, I'm good. Oh wait, no, there's another one. Not having horrendous, crippling problems? Yeah, that too. But see, I'm a casual fan. And I don't know much about them, but I do know that there is an entire subculture of people who really, really, really like Sonic the Hedgehog. I kind of envision them as this cabal that cares about Sonic on levels that I'll never understand. Now, a few of them get kind of creepy even, but mostly I think they just really like Sonic the Hedgehog. A lot more than me, and I like Sonic. So if you belong to the cult of Sonic, you're gonna have to forgive me because I'm just not on your level. I never will be. You're going to watch this and think to yourself, oh my god, Ross doesn't even know who Sonic's cousin is. This is embarrassing. But hey, this could be an educational experience. You'll get to see how the other half sees the great blue one. Plus, I'm gonna have some questions that only true Sonic fans can answer. So maybe we'll all learn something. Okay, enough talk. It's Sonic. Let's go, go, go! Ugh. Yuck. Okay, we're off to a bad start already. These vocals are not my kind of music. The select music is okay. Phew, it's getting worried there. And here we choose our team. Well, I like Knuckles, and I like Sonic. So, gee, I'm playing a game with Sonic in the title. I think I'll play as Team Sonic. Now, I have more to say here, but we'll get to that. Aha! A cutscene! Nice. Okay, how fast is that? That's at least 100, huh?
Hey look! It's Sonic!
Yeah, I don't know what to think about how Tails sounds like he's voiced by a 5-year-old. Whoa! Flying a little low there, huh, Tails? So Robotnik's going to take over the world and we have to stop him. First off, let's get real. This writing is for kids. The story, dialogue, just 100%. The old Sonic games, I think, have more of a universal appeal, where if you just like video games, they've got a lot going for them regardless of age. They're non-verbal, you just hopped in and started playing. Now that they're opening their mouths, it makes things weird because now the onus is on me. Why am I playing a kid's game? Well, the answer is because old Sonic was great. As an adult, I still like things that are great, so hopefully that's still Sonic? So I can't really analyze a story for kids, but that said, maybe it's the nostalgia talking, but I feel like the body language has some charm here. Sonic is an unstoppable speedball and doesn't even think about running backwards at 100 miles an hour, completely blind to any mazes he might slam the back of his head into while he reads a letter at the same time. See, this is why Sonic is cool. He doesn't even think about it. And look at Knuckles. He's a kid's character, but we have a plane almost kissing the ground at 100, and he's just kicking his feet up. He doesn't care. There's nothing. Some of you may remember a while back planking was a fad, and I can't find it anymore, which upsets me, but during that time, I swear I saw a video of this dude planking on an active ski lift, swinging back and forth as it was moving. If it had swung a little too much, he was going to slide right off it, and that would be it. I remember thinking, that's it. This guy wins at planking. It's over. And sure enough, it fell out of style not long after that. Well, here's Knuckles living more dangerously than that planker even, except he can't even be bothered to plank. He's just lying back, might even take a nap. I'm imagining what they're doing is he sent Tails on a beer run, but he had to come along because Tails is underage, so he's just letting him fly him. Anyway, Sonic asks Knuckles if he wants to come crack some skull instead, and he says, yeah, okay. So they ditched the plane because Tails was just going to crash it anyway, and off we go. Yeah, Alright, this is what I want to see. Everybody's running fast, pretty good light rock music, sunny day. Man, this environment. I'm loving these whale islands. I don't know if YouTube will do this justice compared to the RGB output, but these colors are popping. We can see the reef under this vibrant, almost Caribbean blue water. What's this? Maybe Polynesian-inspired drawings on marble blocks? Yeah, let's break them. So thematically, this is a home run. This 100% feels like Sonic to me. You'd think that goes without saying, but no, it doesn't. I mean, a lot of people like Sonic Adventure, but that starts off in a not that scenic city with a bunch of cops. Then you're talking to a bunch of humans downtown. I mean, where is this? Miami? Sonic 06 doubled down on this sort of thing later. This doesn't feel fun and exciting to me. Where my whale islands at? Here. They're right here. Shaw. That's right, Shaw. Shaw. Now the game does like to bark instructions at you constantly. Yeah, shut up, Tails. Which is a bit much considering that there's already a tutorial. But I guess we should talk about the main mechanic. The game wants you to switch off between characters. Sonic for speed, Tails for flying, and Knuckles for punching. I do like how Knuckles just uses his teammates as weapons to beat up enemies and starts shouting, "Take that, take that, take it!" Kinda makes me wish there was a mature or teen-rated game with Knuckles just beating the crap out of people. This would be even better if they weren't colorful balls and he just straight up used them as melee weapons with some ragdoll physics. But I guess it's not that kind of game. Anyway, I find myself kind of hating this swapping pretty quickly. The main reason is it just wrecks my flow. See, watch. Here's Sonic. Awesome. Here's Tails. Wow, that kind of sucks. Plus, if you fly, he's having to haul two of us, so he's really struggling. You can't fly for more than 3 seconds before you drop like a rock. And Knuckles. Damn, Knuckles is slow. So that means as soon as I move to anyone who's not Sonic, it's like slamming on the brakes and just feels bad. The lesson I'm taking from this is for a team game, my teammates feel like a liability, and I'm finding myself praying I don't have to rely on them any more than necessary. I do like the speed, though. Yeah, all aboard the Pushmobile. Boop, boop. Jesus. Yeah, I think we have enough speed. I am happy to report the game is fast enough. Until it's not. Okay, fans probably have all kinds of opinions on this, but I feel like I've never quite gotten the flow of Sonic games. To me, someone outside the cult of Sonic, the perfect Sonic game would just let you fly through the level unless you made a mistake. Then you'd slow down and have to get back on course and so on. But that's not really how Sonic does things. See, in the old ones, there were parts you could just fly through, but then you come across these portions that you have to completely stop and wait, or move really slowly. It just wrecked the flow for me. If Sonic wasn't so damn fast, I'd be fine with slower platforming. But this is Sonic! He's gotta go, go, go! Well, Heroes is kind of the same thing. You go really fast, then you get held up in spots, so To me, Sonic's mostly been about going fast, then having to stop and get frustrated. Maybe it always will be. Well, I love the presentation of the end being on a hill on this final island. I make it there and it starts tallying up my score. Oh, and this looks off because I'm using a widescreen mod. That did not exist until a few years ago. I swear, maybe a decade passed and you couldn't get this game running at widescreen. That's why the characters were stretched in the menu, too. And I get a grade. Lame. Sonic's too cool for school. I don't need a grade. I'm not part of your system. Ah, more whale country. Wait, what happened? What? Oh, I'm dead. Okay, good to know. Oh, look, the stone blocks are whale-shaped now. Yeah. Ah, Tails sucks. And of course we have a fleet of giant sea turtles. This is good, Sonic Heroes. This is what I want to see. Come on. Oh my god, come on. Hey, Knuckles, didn't you used to climb walls? What happened to that? Oh, and we have this crap where you run at the camera. I'm never any good at this. I do like hearing Tails scream, though. End of the level!
Yes! Just enough to pass.
Bite me. Boss!
Stop your futile efforts.
Yeah, more kid dialogue, but man, this music is great. This is a rocking boss fight. I don't know what I'm doing, but let's keep running. Oh God, I switched to Knuckles. No! He's destroying the Orca statues. That son of a bitch! And here's the secret to the fight. You hit a bunch of buttons. Sometimes I get hurt for reasons I don't understand, but if I keep hitting buttons, I hurt him more. That's about the extent of my understanding of what's happening here. Like, you'd think I'd have to attack those zones individually, but apparently not. Whatever, the music's great here. Oh my God, he's tearing out more statues. I can't take it. Die, die, die! I'm just gonna hit buttons over and over and over and over and over again. Oh, he's moving. Fine, I guess we are too. Yes, we did it! Go team, even though you guys were kind of a liability.
Yes! Piece of cake. Too easy.
Okay, I would get annoyed by a C, but I like how Sonic says that's too easy. Have you ever said too easy when a teacher gives you a C in class? I bet you'd surprise them. And that is it for the C zone.
Looks like
Nice. I like Sonic holding up his fist and looking fierce, talking about the power of teamwork. Wow. Okay, I admit, I was worried this game wouldn't have the same wow factor as it did when I first played it, but no, it holds up. This is one of the better Metropolises I've seen. Wait, did everybody see what happened there? I was running forward, then I went on a loop-de-loop, which I think is automated? I don't know because I'm afraid to let go. See, in old Sonic, you actually had to hold down the forward button to go through those. Well, I didn't want to drop midway, so here's me doing the same thing, then wham! It changed the camera suddenly, and because I was holding down forward, now my perspective's changed in under a second, so I run straight into the wall instead, just losing all my momentum. Oh, they did it again! Oh, and I'm dead! Death by camera angle. Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say even hardcore Sonic fans don't like that. Just jerking the camera in the middle of your run so you die? Just guessing here. Well, the Metropolis is great. I'm happy to see Sonic and friends running through the city with flying cars, futuristic buildings, along these energy runway things, living the dream. We should all be so lucky. They do seem to rush you by the scenery a little too fast though. The game should have milked that some more. In fact, most of the level is spent indoors with future corridors, and this just doesn't impress me. I've seen tons of games that look like this part. It's filler. It's almost oppressive compared to the vistas I was seeing earlier. I would much rather be running through the city outside. Maybe that had to do with the polygon and memory budget, but I feel like if they could do this, they could do anything. Anyway, the music's good, the city's good, and working at a power plant kinda sucks. Okay, next level. The power plant. Oh dear. Well, it's more the same, really. The music rocks, the city vistas are great, but the majority of the level is still these crappy indoor areas. I apologize to anyone in the energy sector. This really makes me not want to work in the industry. This is also a good example of the stop and go gameplay I was talking about earlier. See, look at these flying robots. Best I can tell, these are too high for Sonic or Knuckles, so you have to use Tails to attack them. Except Tails' attacks suck, so all they do is knock them to the ground and stun them for a few seconds. Then you have to switch back to Knuckles to take them out, then you have to switch back to Tails in order to slowly ascend these platforms. And this is just after I was screaming by as the corkscrew of God. I've never understood the pacing in Sonic games. My brain wants either fast or slow, not back and forth like this. And maybe this is just me, but I keep doing double takes at the logo for the Hexa Eco Power Company because it looks kind of like the Battletoads logo. Okay, here I can't tell if the game sucks or I do, but look, I'm trying to get the rings but my perspective's off and I can't grab them for the life of me. I just can't gauge the depth. Same goes for these pulleys. You'd think I could only see through one eye. This isn't unique to Sonic though. I've never been great at 3D platformers because of stuff like this. Okay, this part is rough. You have to go up this column as lava chases you, but I'm a klutz and keep hitting the wrong button or get my perspective mixed up and keep burning lives. Yeah, here's another thing I don't like. I've gone into the lava, but I have a few seconds. Oh, well, let's switch to Tails for a save. Well, you can't. You can't switch characters while in midair. So if you made the wrong choice, you're screwed. Okay, I made it to the top, but what is this? This is almost literally the rock in a hard place metaphor. I have lava at the bottom and an impenetrable force field at the top. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna die, that's what. I'm out of lives, damn it. Well, now I get to stop and go all over again. I liked all this the first time, and it's not that you need to loop back on the same scenery, because Sonic needs to keep moving. But if you have a long level, you need to show more scenery as you're flying by, and not just these indoor areas. I've only played some of them, but I feel like some of the later Sonic games did a better job of that sort of thing. But here, I don't know now that... Wait, what happened? I thought that was one of the automatic sequences. I was just pressing forward. Why'd I die? Oh my god, that put me back at the start of the level? There were no checkpoints? Are you kidding? Okay, I'm playing this all over again. Oh my god, it happened again. No! No, stop this! What the hell is going on? Okay, I had to stop here and look back at the footage to find out how I survived this the first time. And now that I've looked at it, it looks like I didn't do anything special. I was just on autopilot, and now I'm doing the same thing, best I can tell, and I just die instead. There's probably a term for this, because I've run into this so many times in gaming, but I'm calling this gamer dementia. You know when a game makes you think you're crazy because from your perspective, you're doing what you've always done, yet for whatever reason, it doesn't work anymore and you die. So your natural instinct is to think you made a mistake and haven't mastered the nuances of a game. When the reality is, you'll never know. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I can't tell you how many games I've seen that in where you're making a jump you've made 100 times, but then it just doesn't work when you really need it and you don't know why. Maybe the controller didn't register it, or maybe the timing was 5 milliseconds off and you didn't realize it. I don't know, but it's making me feel crazy when literally the hardest part of the game so far is some ramp that you're supposed to run forward on. It would be like if I kept failing here. Oh yeah, that part's so hard. Really brings out the skill. Okay, fingers crossed. I'm going as Tails this time, because even though he's not as fast, those 3 seconds of gliding might be the difference between life and death. And... I didn't even need him. He crossed it just fine without gliding, like any other automated sequence. Gaming dementia. But don't worry, I'm not just losing my mind here. Oh no, let's get back to the real pain. Watch this. I'm doing the air attack move I've done 100 times by now. 1, 2, 3, nothing. Now you die. I pressed the button. Now just as a reference, here's me doing the exact same thing half an hour earlier. Why did it work then and not now? Gamer dementia. Or why does my homing attack just not work sometimes? Yeah, fly right through him even though this worked all those other times. This is like missing with auto-aiming turned on. See, if I was a good Sonic player, I would know if this was me or the game, but I'm not. So I'm just lost and confused as I'm exposed to images of Sonic being burned alive over and over again. Well, the game did the impossible and is making me appreciate Tails, since he holds those precious seconds of extra life in his hands. Though it's kind of a trap, because I think using him is what got me killed earlier because he can't outfly the lava in time. So now I'm doing Sonic. Hurry, 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 hurry. Don't make me do this again. Oh, I almost fell off. Come on, come on. Don't let me die like this. Oh, out of the fire. Just don't screw up. Hurry up, hurry up. Oh, God. Oh, the suspense is high for me in this episode. And there's the end. My God.
Just enough to pass.
Go to hell. Ah, cutscene.
Gotcha, my darling Sonic.
Amy, what are you doing here?
Sonic, this time there's no way out of marrying me.
Oh, wow. I dismissed this as a kid's story, but now I'm interested. Okay, let's back up a second. If we play Team Rose, their intro is just a bunch of squeaking, and I'm not even sure what they're doing. I think Amy wants to find Sonic, and he wants his frog, and the other characters are practically babies, where Amy is sort of a mother figure for them. See, now we're getting into the weird side of Sonic. This is actually the first 3D Sonic I played. The Sonic Adventure games didn't come out on PC until later. I've since played those, and I think they're just kind of weird. The music's odd, the settings aren't my favorite, though I did like that tornado section, and the San Francisco part was okay. But they were really story-focused and added all these characters and just... what? I don't know, they both just felt like a slightly bad trip to me. And I'm pretty sure what I just said is blasphemy to the cult of Sonic, but they can't banish me if I'm not a member to begin with. Ah ha ha! Anyway, maybe that's the whole story. Sonic is trying to save the world, and Amy just wants to marry Sonic, and her friends are borderline helpless, so they all follow her. So Sonic fans, here's your first question. What's the deal with Amy? Like, okay, I get that she has a crush on Sonic and Sonic's not interested, but Sonic strikes me as the type that wouldn't have a problem being with a lot of women. But we're talking women. See, I remember her from Sonic CD, and in that she came across like a little girl. Now, I don't know how old Sonic is, but you get the feeling he's in his late teens to early 20s, something like that. So is this a situation where a 12-year-old wants to marry Sonic? And Sonic is saying, yeah, that's nice, but you're 12 years old. I can't be with a 12-year-old. That's not cool. So he gets all weirded out by this. But now that she's formed a team, she's brought along Big the Cat as an enforcer. And the thing is, Sonic Adventure left me with the impression that he's mildly retarded. Literally. Sort of like Lenny from Of Mice and Men, except without the guidance of George. It seems like his main mentor is just some frog he found.
Hello, Froggy.
It's kind of tragic, really. He's not smart, but he's huge, and he follows orders. So now Amy's recruited him to try and instigate a shotgun wedding for herself. And the thing is, no one understands why this is a problem. No one on her team has the mental capacity to understand why she can't marry Sonic. So they have to work their relationship problems out in public in a giant team brawl. Yeah, I take back what I said. This is fascinating writing. In fact, I wouldn't mind seeing a real-life enactment of this. A 12-year-old girl with a hammer, some toddlers, and a Hulk beating up her beau and friends to marry him. They actually start kicking my ass, but they're not any better at this game than I am, and fling themselves over the edge to fall to their imminent deaths. Sure, I'll marry you, Amy. Till death do us part. And hey, look at that! That's the best grade I've received so far! So, yeah, that was kind of tragic and brutal. Wasn't expecting that. Next up is a casino level.
Boy, Amy sure doesn't give up that easy.
Well, she sure hit the ground easy. Okay, casino level. I've never liked these. These go way back in Sonic games. They're always trying to work one of these in. I've never cared for the Las Vegas style gaudiness. But you know what would make it better? If it was the biggest casino ever and set a mile in the air? The music's great too. This has more wow factor going for it. And we start off being a pinball. This, let's keep going. I like the Robotnik Bunny Guard bots. Okay, let's talk about the pinball. I found this part just painful, really. You have to work your way up table after table after table. However, the pain was almost all my fault. See, what I failed to comprehend was in the midst of being overwhelmed by all the Las Vegas glitz, these arrows weren't just for show. They shoot you in the direction they go. I don't know how I missed that. But since I did, I thought I was randomly lurching in different directions at the game's mercy, which made this a lot harder for me. But that's on me, not the game. So all the pain I went through was for nothing, and it's my fault. But I guess that's part of the casino experience. Oh God, what's that sound? I hate casinos!
What do you mean we have to start all over?
It means we're gonna be here a long time, Knuckles. Now, you'd be forgiven for thinking all there is to life is pinball, but what may not be obvious watching this are the constant flashes of terror I felt on just doing routine things. You know how when you're really high up and have to maintain your balance, you take even simple things way more cautiously than you normally would without even trying to? I'm finding this happening to me all over because Sonic, or me playing Sonic, has this tendency to just lurch off in a direction and that's it. I'm another statistic for the great roulette wheel below. So when I wasn't struggling with pinball, there was a constant tension that I was going to fall, and it never went away. but I did enjoy flying through the night sky, being flung around from one end to the other, and the holographic palm trees. It's a nice end.
Alright.
Yeah, I got a failing grade again. Bingo Highway. Okay, I have a confession to make. I'm not great at estimating heights, and that may be an issue for talking about this game. I mean, look at this view. If I'm going to go to a casino, this is exactly what I want to see. I mean, I think I'm good at estimating if a fall will kill me or not. I'm still here after all. But everything in this game is in the kill range, and I'm bad at putting numbers to this. So feel free to chime in how high up we are. The Bingo Highway is more my speed. It gives me less time to worry about our height. We're moving a lot faster. Have spectacle after spectacle. The stops don't last too long. There's more pinball. The Bingo Highway itself is impressive though. And it just keeps going. More Bingo Highway. More Bingo Highway. Wow, 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 wow. And at this point, I entered hell. I'm still not sure what happened, but it could be I just wasn't connecting the dots on those arrows again. Except these aren't even arrows. These are more like stripes. See, my problem is I was trying to apply physics, like this was a bobsled ramp or something. Oh, that was a mistake. Here I am pressing to the left as hard as I possibly can as it shoves me over the edge to the right to my doom. You're not allowed to jump in this portion either. There was also some weird mercy going on because sometimes I would fall off and just start over. Other times I die. All I can figure is the gods of chance who watch over this domain are pleased with Sonic. See, Sonic has no money, so all he has to gamble with is his life and the lives of his friends, which he does so in earnest. So the gods bestowed fortune upon me in uneven amounts to keep my hope alive. But of course, the house always wins. So this portion, this specific portion, only took me 10 tries, but it sure felt a lot longer. Anyway, it was a piece of cake after that, though there was some more pinball. Get me out of here. I want to leave.
Just enough to pass.
Good. Rail Canyon. Whoa! Oh yeah, grinding out a sky rail, what, half a mile up in a canyon? But you know what? This isn't dangerous enough. Let's do spin jumps on the railing while we grind. Yes! Perfect! Yeah, let's go upside down while we're at it. I mean, this is it. This right here. If you wonder why I, as a grown man, still like Sonic the Hedgehog, here it is. Let's rock out while we do the most dangerous thing on Earth and do it fast. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, strike a pose in your jump. Wouldn't want to put that airtime to waste. This is so dangerous. I love it. Hey, let's play chicken with an oncoming train. This is what Sonic the Hedgehog is all about for me. Everything else is just what gets us here. Again, I like the little touches, like the long-horned Robotnik mecha skulls here.
What a view!
Look at those canyons.
It's great.
Keep your eyes on the rail, Sonic.
Yeah, whatever, Dad. Don't be a buzzkill, Knuckles. Though Tails brings up a good point I was kind of avoiding, but it's in your face here. The one downside of running this game on modern resolutions on a sharp monitor is you really do see the separation between the skybox texture and the geometry. Whereas if everything was lower res, it probably would blend together seamlessly. I can't fault the game for that though. It worked in 2003. Normally, I barely care how crisp the textures are in a game. Except the skybox. Because my instinct is to check out the view in the distance, and that's when I see the cracks. And what adds insult to injury is I read a fan went and used AI learning to upsample the textures in Sonic Adventure 2. Oh man, we could have used some of that. The skybox is half of what you see in this game. Anyway, this level rules. If Sonic fans don't like this, they're crazy. Bullet Station.
It's because we're getting closer to the center.
No, it's because you're balancing precariously while you're so high up you'll hit terminal velocity before your body hits the ground. I mean, I remember seeing this dude break the world record for highest jump without a parachute, and he was okay because they laid out an utterly gigantic net for him, but I don't see any net around here. But yeah, more of the same, except with even more rocking music. Yes, please. Can't stop me. I'm Sonic. I'm on a permanent sugar high. The level rocks for the most part. We break into a dome, land on a moving train, blow up everything, and fly out. The rail grinding could not be better. Oh, and look at this. I'm pretty sure the game just tried to kill me there with those arrows. Speed boost to nowhere. We're shot out of a cannon? Yeah, pose for the camera. Oh, look at how close that was. Shot out of another cannon, break into another building, shot out of the big cannon. This is the largest gun I've seen since Quake 2. Then Sonic decides the gravitational constant can just hold its horses until he's done with his sequence. Which, I admit, looks great. Here, let me speed it up a bit. Then watch this. It shoots me into the center, I bounce off it, then it just drops me into the abyss.
I think my heart stopped.
Oh, your heart almost stopped? Why is that, Knuckles? Are you worried about something? What are you worried about? Yeah, that sets me back, because I am a bad player, but the game is more than obliging to help bad players kill themselves. Oh, you weren't sure exactly where to go? Yeah, you should kill yourself. Oh, you went a little bit to the right? Yeah, you should kill yourself. You thought you were on solid ground? Yeah, you should kill yourself. Why don't you jump to another track like you've done 50 times by now? Yeah, kill yourself. Just kill yourself. Look at this one. I was breaking these containers for power-ups, except whoops, I ended up on a rail moving backwards. I was struggling to get off it. No! I was trying my absolute hardest to not do that. Yet, that's what happened. And this level is where the game turned into a saga for me. I went through all of this again. This time, I remembered to use Tails before I loaded myself in the cannon, because that's my only chance to switch for the whole sequence. And with Tails, I made it. Then it dropped me backwards, which unfortunately means you can't speed up and you can't just turn around. So, I'm stuck. This is a bad place to be stuck. I have to do something. Jump? No! And that sends me all the way back. Oh no, I did the same thing but forgot to use Tails again. More than once, actually. Okay, finally made it again. God, this image so perfectly illustrates how I'm handling this game. A picture's worth 1,000 words. This is me being a hero in Sonic Heroes. Miraculously, I make it from that. Then it sends me through another building, another train to wreck. Then we enter the vehicle thing again, and this was my fault, but the pink lasers kill you. I thought they were like an energy ribbon you run through, maybe get some points. The game encouraged me to ram things with the vehicle earlier. Why does it... Oh my god, all the way back? Okay, at first I thought this was some classic video gaming right here. But now that I look at the footage, I think I might have brain damage? Turns out there was a checkpoint. Here it is, right after that tough rail section. I just walked right by it. Twice even. What about 3? Do I hear 3 times? Sold. That's what happened back at the power plant too. What am I doing? I feel like I'm watching footage of myself sleepwalking where I drove my car into a lake. All I can figure is these tutorial icons were bugging me and Team Sonic just wouldn't shut up when you touch them. So I associated that with the checkpoints and skipped them? I don't know. I really have no excuses. This one isn't gamer dementia. I think this one is just regular old-fashioned dementia. Well, I said we might learn something. I'm learning things. I'm in such a fog here because I'll die and yeah, that was my fault. But it also feels like I'm dying at random? Why did I die there? It just worked earlier. It was a speed boost and I wasn't fighting it. It just worked and now it doesn't. Yeah, I probably sound like a tech support call now. So I'll die along the way to dying and die some more before I have a chance to die farther on. What happened? Okay, I'm still alive. Wait, no, I'm not. But I am. No, I'm not. Start over! The final run scared the crap out of me with this jump to have made it this far and just be dropped to my death again? But no, there was mercy. Wow, it's been a long time since I've fallen to my death this many times, after going through most of the level each time. But we go through one more cannon and shoot Robotnik's face off the mesa, even though I kind of like that, and beat the level. Only took me 18 tries.
We can do better.
No, we can't, Tails. We really can't. And now our boss! It's really pretty similar to the first one, except with a slightly higher risk of falling. This is like candy compared to what I just went through. What a nice, casual boss. Ah, cinematic. It was all a ruse. Robotnik's fleet is underway, which is pretty damn impressive, honestly. And the decoy is actually the T-1000 from Terminator, which is actually Metal Sonic, which was scanning their DNA. Yeah, there's another question for Sonic fans. When did Robotnik get a liquid metal robot? Why doesn't he use that for everything? Frog Forest! Yeah, of course, we're not actually in the forest. We're, again, what, half a mile up? Any pilots out there? What's this look like to you? Now, speaking of which, I'm going to show you something you can't unsee. Sonic fans have another question. Now, there's no way I'm the first person to think this, but how does Tails fly? Okay, he flies because he flaps his tails around to create lift, right? So I guess my real question is, how do his tails work? See, in the old Sonic games, it just sort of goes into a blur, so we have plausible deniability. But not here. It may not be obvious in the video, but it's as clear as day in-game. It's spinning around like a propeller. Look, here it is in slow motion. So Sonic fans, explain this to me. I'm willing to accept a lot of things in Sonic games, but this one is too in my face. I mean, sure, somebody will say, how does Mario eat a leaf in Mario 3 and grow a raccoon tail and fly with that? Well, Mario's a magic drug trip. Sonic has a history of having a loose respect for physics. Sure, he'll take liberties here and there, but we have momentum, friction. The basics are there, they just get exaggerated. But this is a core part of Tails' character. They're Tails' tails. I mean, here's how it works in a regular propeller. So anatomically, what's going on here? Does he have a robot ass? I tried and I couldn't really conceptualize this one biologically. The tails would just twist and pop off. There's some pretty hardcore Sonic fans out there, so the ball's in your court now. Anyway, Frog Forest has a lot going for it. The music's not quite my thing, but it has personality. We have frogs that summon rain, vines that grow on demand, of course the giant mushrooms. I like the sequence where we go inside a log and see the fireflies, and we use a giant flower as a hang glider to get thrown around all over. Really, every level so far has its own charm and personality, and is exactly the sort of thing I want to see from a Sonic game. And because I was utterly scarred by Bullet Canyon, I played this one with genuine paranoia. I so badly did not want to fall to my death, if you can believe that. I made it to the end, and can we get a drum roll? Can you guess my grade? I didn't die once. I didn't even get hit once. I finished with over 100 rings, and I found not one, but 2 of the secret keys. I am not getting the lowest grade this time. Oh no. I am getting the second lowest grade. Yeah. This is practically a metaphor. It shows if you work really hard, you get ahead in life. And those keys mean we get a bonus stage. It's just running down a pipe in the clouds while some J-pop style music starts playing. I suck at this and run out of time, though I did manage to finish the bonus stage for the first level, where that shout thing shows up and starts squeaking. Yeah, see, now we're on a magic drug trip, not earlier. But back to the real world, we're in the Lost Jungle and our second area on the ground. Straight up, I hate this music. It's all chaotic and has instrument use I don't like. I'm gonna rush through this. There's some neat stuff, but it's nothing we didn't see in Frog Forest. This rain filter didn't age well. Towards the end, we get chased by a giant alligator, though visually this is kind of a mess because of all the splashing. Plus, I think this is a 2003 graphics thing, but you notice how a lot of older games will do this thing where some transparencies, like water splashing or smoke, are way, way brighter than they should be? Like as bright as the sun, pretty much? I think it has something to do with additive lighting and might have been a limitation of graphics at the time, but it still looks bad. The music has personality, but it sucks. We're done.
All right.
And time for another team face-off. They're complaining about something, and we have the best boss music so far. This music has a lot more bite than I would have expected from a Sonic game. Apology accepted for the jungle music. So we're facing off against more of the Sonic Adventure crew. There's some plotline about Shadow having amnesia. I don't care. I don't even remember the plot from Adventure. Plus, Shadow. Let me explain the problem with Shadow the Hedgehog. He reminds me of a stereotype of a goth teen that doesn't actually feel any sort of angst, but wants to look cool and act edgy about everything. The problem is he's trying to be cool. Yeah, have guns and a motorcycle and act edgy. I'm a badass. Except I'm not because I'm trying too hard and this is a Sonic game. I mean, do we really need lots of angst in a Sonic game? I didn't think we did. It wasn't on my checklist. Though I'll be fair, I'm knocking Shadow, but the music where he faces Sonic and Sonic Adventure 2 is sick. They can keep that coming. But listen, any character that's trying to be cooler than Sonic is going to fail. See, Sonic is cocky, but he earns it because he runs really fast and surfs and stuff. I mean, from day one, he's wagging his fingers saying, "Can't catch me, motherfucker." So in the world of Sonic, nobody's going to be cooler than Sonic. Sega hasn't seemed to figure that out. I mean, in Sonic Forces, they make you play as some custom character for part of it. I mean, that's fine as an option, but they make it mandatory, calling you Rookie. Why would you want to play as some scrub character constantly living in the shadow of Sonic when you could be playing Sonic? We already did that with Shadow, and he sucks. I just made mine look like Sonic. So by the end, we were using the power of Sonic, Sonic, and Sonic to defeat the bad guy. Teamwork! The only character that comes close to being as cool is Knuckles because he hangs back and isn't trying to steal Sonic's spotlight. It had this mysterious Batman-esque logo for his introduction. I mean, Knuckles has a following too. I guess he's my favorite character out of the Sonic world, but I'm hardly the #1 fan. That could be the creator of the mod Knuckles Mania with Knuckles, taking place in Knuck Hills. Back to the fight, I have no idea what I'm doing again. What? Oh, they have a Chaos Emerald? That's bringing a gun to a fist fight. Yeah, it freezes me, but I was in mid-jump and the AI can't deal with that. Good. I hit a bunch of buttons and eventually get them. The end. Haunted Castle time! I noticed how loud the flame sounds are over everything else.
I saw Shadow and Eggman head this way. This has gotta be the right way.
It looks sort of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa in the background there. We touch this orb.
And then we turn upside down. That's weird. Here's another one.
And back to right side up. I like the merging of castle architecture with Sonic runways. Oh, you see that? Robotnik worked his face into the bracers on the doors. Anyone want to translate those runes? Here, I'll back up for a better view. I like how Robotnik put his face onto these swinging pendulum blades too.
I think Sonic grinding along these bladed walls accurately would make this a mature-rated game. Only the penitent hedgehog may pass. Oops, I fell into the moon.
Oh look, I almost did it again. Yeah, go back. Come on, me. Shah! We've got another Shah, everyone.
The music changes when we flip upside down. I think we prefer the whimsical, spooky music. Something about this music feels wrong. But then we're upside down. We're not supposed to be here. This music is like lifting up a rock and watching the bugs scurry.
It's really steep here. Be careful.
The whole world is steep when you can fall into the sky.
Ah, the refreshing castle sauna. Ripples, steam. I bet YouTube's not gonna compress this well. Penitent, penitent.
Hey, the walls have teeth. What does the castle eat?
Hell yeah. I love it when games make me feel deep inside their world. I think right around here is when I really started feeling it.
And finally, we run down the tower towards the moon, which may be up, even though we still fall sideways. This game is special.
Well, that was weird. We're just magically turned upright at the end, so Sonic isn't cursed for life. That's good. Oh yeah, we're crashing this haunted mansion. Hey, I like the Whale Island painting. This place is classy. Now I know you guys. Some of you are no different than Robotnik. If you had his money, you would make statues of your robots too. Oh, see the skeleton? Where'd he go? I admit, I like these outdoor robot portraits. Hell, I would want these. Oh yeah, twisting minecart ride. And secret caverns. This is exactly what I want to see from Sonic. Sonic is keeping things Sonic. How can I complain when the game's giving me this? This music is dope. This is a game for kids, but can kids handle a haunted castle this funky? Oh, we're going full Netherworld. Okay. Then we have a trial for each of our heroes. Knuckles is easy. Tails is platforming, which looks easy, but oh damn it, me in 3D platforming. That set me back. And that's when the curse of the game truly took hold. I made it that far without incident. No more. This one sequence where you wall hop and the skeletons show up to watch you die, now they get a show.
Deep here. Be careful.
I finally passed with Tails, but now Sonic. Oh, Sonic. Just use the auto-homing attack. What could go wrong? That's what could go wrong. Now start over. Oh! Oh, no! Not there! See, it's the same thing. You just press a button to grab that ring trail, except it doesn't always work. Probably my fault, but I don't know why. What's the tutorial say? It says everything works. Now go fall off a cliff, you stupid bastard. Okay, all the way back to Sonic's portion. No! Now I'm making careless mistakes. Oops. It happens again. Why? I've done this dozens of times, yet here it doesn't always work, and I go back again. When this game's great, it's great. There's so much to like about it. And then the rest of the time, I feel like an abused animal that doesn't understand what it did wrong. Oh God, I made it. Now just get through the other trials. Please, stop the pain. Oh God, we did it. Only 15 tries, but it felt so long. I'm outside. It's so beautiful here. Look at it. I'm like a convict being released from prison.
Just enough to pass.
Oh, thank God. It's just the boss next. That says so much about this game that the bosses are a sigh of relief after doing the levels.
Trying to stop us now? What a joke!
What did you say? Now I'm really mad!
I like how genuinely angry Sonic's remark made Robotnik. And yeah, this boss level is no big deal. It's pretty much an endurance round against Robotnik's robots, which were never that hard to begin with. Honestly, your biggest enemy in this level is yourself. As long as you don't fly off in a direction by accident, yeah, like that, it's very doable.
I'm just warming up.
This is only the beginning!
I like this exchange here. They're basically saying the same thing to each other. I imagine some frat guys having a spat saying, well, I'm just warming up. Yeah, well, this is just the beginning. Oh yeah, well, I'm just getting started. Oh yeah, well, this has only just begun. And they just keep going like that. Well, we get them.
Boys, those were the easy ones!
Ah!
All right. Not a very bright move for a genius.
Wow, where's this coming from, Knuckles? Oh wait, maybe he meant Robotnik. Okay, a bit of a spoiler, we are not going to be facing off against Team Chaotix. Though that makes sense because that's Knuckles' old crew. That would be super awkward to have to fight them. I thought it was actually pretty neat they added these characters because I always saw them as sort of like secret characters. I mean, Knuckles Chaotix was a weird game for a weird system. I never played it, but I saw some footage of it and it looked weird too. I mean, these are almost abstract images. We're not in some memorable location, we're in no place. I just always assumed this game took place in another dimension that Knuckles managed to escape from. Maybe that's why Knuckles guards the Chaos Emeralds. If their power is abused, they'll open up a door into Chaotix again. And he could be like an ex-con who says, I'm not going back. I'm not going back to prison. I mean, it just looked weird, but maybe Chaotix is a kind of hell. It's where rings go to die. Actually, Team Chaotix has a twist where you have to find things in the level. That's an interesting concept, but they want you to do all the same jumps and running also. I actually kind of like the idea of two modes. One where you fly through as Sonic, and one that's a lot slower where you could climb and glide and really explore and take in the level. But that's not what they did, so back to Sonic. The Egg Fleet. Whoa!
We're flying way high.
Yes, we are. Okay, pilots, how high up are we? I think this is at least the stratosphere. I like how there's no mention of how we got up here. This is another slam dunk level. Good rock music, all the spectacle I want to see in Sonic. I mean, there was stuff like this in Sonic Adventure, but this seems even more so. Actually, this fleet got me thinking, and I have a couple questions. Okay, I don't think there's any dispute that Robotnik's the bad guy. He's trying to take over the world, destroying things, and so on. Now, this probably exists in literature, but I've never heard of it. So as far as I know, Robotnik's unique in that he's a one-man empire. I mean, look at this. This is the Air Force of a small country. And this is on top of God knows how many other industries, like the trains and casinos and so on, and that's just in this game. Sonic fans can fact check me, but I've never seen an employee of Robotnik's. The most I've ever seen is mercenary help he gets, and that's always just to stop Sonic. So I have to assume this is all robot labor. He's got robots for days. I think he has to have robot overseers on top of his robot workers. I mean, there's no way he designed, oversaw construction, sourced the raw materials for this fleet on top of everything else he's doing. No one can manage all that. So he has robots working under robots that handle everything, and they all answer to him. So I started thinking, what if instead of launching attacks, he played by the rules instead? He could outprice every industry and collapse them because he has unlimited free labor. I mean, Amazon has about 800,000 employees. Robotnik has one, himself. He could outproduce and outprice them. Same goes for mining, agriculture, construction, telecommunications. He could run circles around almost every major industry. Now, creative and specialist ventures he might still have competition with, so he may not be able to take on a company like Disney if we're talking strictly fair competition. Though he could also play the game the way most big companies do and hire lobbyists to change the law to favor his industries. But even without that, I think it's not out of sight. He could take over 70% or more of all goods and services worldwide. Maybe 90%, who knows? Unlimited free labor and resources is a major card to play. In the old games, he needed to enslave animals, but now it's just robots. He doesn't even need the animals in Sonic Heroes. In fact, in the process of buying up the world, he could turn law enforcement against Sonic and label him an eco-terrorist for trespassing and attacking his machinery on private property. And our laws would defend him, not Sonic. So I guess my question is, pretend you're a citizen of Sonic World. How would we stop Robotnik legally? Would we be able to stop him? Robotnik's lawyers could have a field day arguing this is all just the labor of one man. Most laws that curb the power of corporations are for ones with thousands of employees, not sole proprietorships. Plus, if he's using robot lawyers and lobbyists, I'm not sure any system could withstand pressure from them 24/7. Officials can only turn down so many suitcases full of money. What does society do when one man controls most of the world and didn't break any rules? Would we even want to get rid of him? If he's taking 70% of all jobs, that's going to force civilization to adapt to something a lot different. What would society even look like? Robotnik doesn't know his own potential here. So that's my first question. My second question, Sonic fans. What is Dr. Robotnik's end game? He wants to conquer the world. Now Sonic always stops him, but let's say something happened to Sonic. Like say he fell to his death. Just imagine. What would Robotnik do after taking over the world? Does he have plans? I mean, he would erect statues of himself all over, that much is for sure. I think he also might commit genocide against forest animals from Sonic's homeland just out of spite, which people would think is weird and cruel, but it might not extend beyond that. But what else? My guess is he just wants the title of conquering the world and hasn't thought it through, and maybe isn't even interested in governing. He might just let most regions govern themselves as long as there are statues and paintings of him everywhere. So yeah, what's his plan? And we make it! Time for the final level, Final Fortress. Another home run-up presentation. I'm getting spectacle after spectacle, and the music is giving me this almost Transformers vibe to it. Listen, here it comes. So good. The level is challenging but fair. Most of the screw-ups are on my part. I also find more evidence of the brain damage theory, considering how long it took me to pull a switch. Come on, pull it. Come on! We've done this before! Pull the switch! Pull it! Oh, and remember how I said the egg fleet feels more impressive than Robotnik's ships in Sonic Adventure? Well, hear it from the blue one himself.
Nothing compared to this.
Yeah, this is huge. Unfortunately, the bottom stint of this picks at my weakest areas, which is not knowing how Sonic is going to land. No! I mean, dodging these lasers while on the railing is awesome. Or would be if the controls always behaved the same way. Switch, switch, switch. Yeah, see, even though I've done this maybe 100 times by now, I want to say there's a 30% chance I'll screw up when switching tracks. Most of the time it goes off without a hitch, then it doesn't. And then I'm out of lives, so I get to start all over. Such mixed feelings about this. No! Okay, that's it. When I drop off the railings, I need to get my hand the hell off the controller. My impulse is to move forward because this is a frigging Sonic game. But no, it's like slamming into the wall earlier. The camera switches on me so fast, that means I fall to my death. I just need to trust where the rail takes me. I'm also finding that I have a little more luck if I don't play Sonic when switching rails. I think that's because Sonic's a little over-eager to air dash. Get over to the left. One on the right. Wait, what the hell? What was I supposed to do here? There are lasers on all of the tracks! Start over! Ah! Time to throw away some more lives. Oh, I dodged it! No, I did it! Jesus! But I'm still on the track! This looks ominous. I guess I had to be on the right? No, it hit me again! Ah! Wait, I'm still on it! This is it! This looks like the end! Okay. Yeah, great! Just throw me like a fucking rock! Jesus Christ! Out of lives! Ah!
And now for a dramatic reading of Knuckles vs. the Fox Power by Peter Chimera. Kunkles was sitting on the broked tree branch, where when Tails came but not really Tails came to see him. "Knuckles, we need your help, oh," he said, the fox said with an inquiring speech. "What's wrong, Tails? Hold on, you are not Tails." He looked, and Tails only had one tail, so he did not have two tails. "No, I am Shadow, but Energex turned me into a fox." "How can that be, Energex discovered a new Chaos Emerald. Now there are 12, and he is using his power to turn all the animals into Soxes.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Okay, so I burned a lot of lives on this level. I realized a little too late I should have just used Tails. So let's skip past all the pain and see if that worked. Yes, it did. You know, as much as the characters won't shut up in this game, they could have thrown me a hint on that. Like, Tails, you're up. God, this video is making it look easy now. But there was a lot of agony behind this. Aha! Yeah, we used Tails again to make that jump. After training me to just blindly trust the rails, they dropped me here. Good God. I will say, this is all sufficiently epic. It's awesome as the last level. But it's over. And the final boss is not a big deal, really. It's Robotnik in mech armor, and while he is harder than the other bosses, this is patty cakes compared to the actual levels. Though I was a bit shocked by this. On the main boss phase, the automatic camera will face away from the boss no matter where you go. You have to manually turn it 180 degrees to see him. That's literally the polar opposite of what you should have done, guys. But we get him. And get an end cinematic of everything exploding. Good. Good. Then Amy is back from the dead and chases Sonic. The end. End credits. Oh look, John St. John was in this. I checked, he was Big the Cat and the Team Robot. Except, wait a minute. That's not really the end, is it? No, we didn't get the Chaos Emeralds. So all we have to do is replay the game through each of the other teams, then ensure we don't get hit once on the levels after grabbing the secret keys, then don't screw up even once on the bonus levels, or else you have to do the source levels all over again. I'm not doing that. Nobody should do that. Well, thankfully, this is like the ones who walk away from Omelas, where all it takes is the suffering of one person who uploaded his save file in order for us all to share the prosperity. So let's check it out. Yeah, look at that. 75 hours. Except I'll tell you right now, this guy spent a lot more than 75 hours on this game. See, my save file says under 5 hours, which is a complete joke. It's at least double that. See, the game only counts successful runs of the lives where you didn't die. Notice how when I died in the game, the timer would go backwards to my previous checkpoint? So if you die 5 times and don't finish the level, none of that is counted. Who knows how much time this guy actually spent making this? So it turns out Team Chaotic solved the mystery where Robotnik was being held captive because Metal Sonic went rogue and locked him up. What I found most interesting about this is Robotnik's broke. He can't afford to pay them until he conquers the world. So that means he was definitely sourcing all raw materials through the robots. They cover his needs so thoroughly, Robotnik hasn't even had a need for money. That's incredible. Anyway, Metal Sonic has apparently become a wizard, summons lightning, blows some more stuff up. Good. Then starts transforming into Mutant Mechagodzilla. Okay. If only we had 7 Chaos Emeralds. Boy, those came at a cost for somebody, huh? So we have to fight him as each of the teams. It's not too bad. Then he flies off, so time to go Supersonic and fly after him. Though I'm kind of disappointed only Sonic gets high off the Chaos Emeralds. Okay, Sonic fans, final question. Do the Chaos Emeralds turn Knuckles into a vampire? If you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, well, in the old Sonic games, when he transforms, you see fangs. Echidnas don't even have teeth. He has fangs. He also turns pale, is super strong, can fly. Sounds pretty vampire-y to me. I was hoping to see that in a 3D game, but I guess not here. I know Sonic turns into a werewolf in one of the games, so this doesn't seem off the table to me. So yeah, I hit a bunch of buttons and we beat him. Then it's nothing but a bunch of cringy dialogue. Though I like this exchange.
It's no use. But why can't I defeat you?
Because we're Sonic heroes.
We beat you because we're us. I like that logic. And that is the game. Wow. Awards time. Shah. Second award. Best music in a 3D Sonic game? I put a question mark because I don't know. I haven't played all of them. But this one is easily my favorite out of the ones I have. The 2D Sonic game soundtracks are in their own league. But for 3D, the track record has not been great. But we had multiple slam dunks in this one. For God's sake, a lot of the Sonic games that came after this were using a symphony orchestra. Sonic is the wrong series for that. And the final award, Best Vertigo. I don't have a fear of heights any more than the average mortal, but wow. The suspense of falling in this game was just constant. I can't remember when I fell to my death this many times in a game. This isn't the first Sonic game to have you high up, but it was just so persistent here. About 99% of my deaths were due to falling. I don't think I died to an actual enemy once. It certainly left an impression on me. I'm gonna be dreaming about bodies slamming into the earth. Now, you might be expecting me to give this the Love and Hate award, but I'm kind of in shock over what happened. It was a little traumatic, but I'm just far more confused about it than harboring any hatred. I see now why I didn't remember it clearly. I obviously repressed some of the memories. So did it pass the Sonic test? Yes, 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 and I don't know. It had issues, but we established that I was unable to determine where the game's madness ended and mine began. Ultimately, I think this game is kind of amazing, but if you play it, it's going to hurt you, both purposefully and without meaning to. I don't see any way around the pain. So if you like Sonic and abuse, then I'd have to call this a must-play. And that's the episode! Stay tuned for another episode for a first-person shooter that also has great music. That's not Unreal, because come on, that would be the obvious choice.
Dave! Dave!